Hello everyone, and welcome. In this tutorial, we'll take a look at the character system in the modern survival horror framework. I'll show you how the main character is set up and how to replace it with your own custom character. Let's get started. A huge thank you to all of you for your amazing support. For those who are familiar with our classic survival horror framework, you know how it lets you create those nostalgic, classic games. Now, with the modern survival horror framework, we're stepping into a whole new era of horror, packed with modern features and possibilities. So if you're working on a modern project, this framework is exactly what you need. Modern survival horror framework is designed for flexibility and long-term growth. Its core is inspired by Resident Evil 3 Remake and Silent Hill 2 Remake, while additional systems and mechanics from other major survival horror titles, like Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 2 Remake, and more, can be mixed, matched, and added. This framework is being developed long-term, and there's a public roadmap where you can see what's coming next. I also gather feedback from you, and that feedback plays a big role in shaping where the framework goes. Alright, let's move on to the first topic I want to cover. In this first part, I'll explain how the framework is structured and what it's built around. We'll start with very basic and simple concepts, and in the next parts, we'll gradually move into bigger and more advanced systems. Modern survival horror framework is built around a component-based architecture. Each major system has its own dedicated component. If you go into the Blueprints folder and then open the Components folder, you'll see several components dedicated to things like inventory, combat, interaction, and more. The main goal here is to keep each system's logic inside its own component. For example, I don't want gameplay logic or math inside UI widgets. Widgets should only be responsible for displaying data, nothing more. In the early access stage, some parts may still be hard-coded or partially handled inside widgets. Over time, all of this is being refactored into proper components and cleaner systems. If you're using versions after early access, you'll see the framework in a much more refined and ideal state. Alright, let's move on to one of the very first things you want to change in the framework: the main character. Obviously, you already have your own character in mind. Maybe you built it from scratch, or maybe you grabbed a ready-made character from the Epic Marketplace, and now you want to bring it into the framework. So, how does the character system work in the framework, and how can you replace the default character with your own? The first thing to know is that if we go to the Blueprints folder and then open the character folder, you'll see 3 different character classes. The main character class used by the framework is BP Player Character. We also have BP Player Character MetaHuman for developers who want to use MetaHumans, and BP Player Character UE4 for those who want to use characters based on the UE4 skeleton. Now, how do we choose which one should be used as the default character when we press play? To do that, go to the Blueprints folder, then Database, and open the Game Mode folder. Here you'll find several game modes. The default one is BP Modern Horror Game Mode. This game mode is intended for the standard UE5 character setup and uses BP Player Character as the default playable character. If we press play, you can see that this is the default character currently being used by the framework. We also have BP Modern Horror Game Mode FP, which is designed for first-person mode. We've covered the first-person setup in the documentation, so I won't go into detail here. Next, we have BP Modern Horror Game Mode Legacy. This is for developers who want to use the legacy character setup from earlier framework versions. It doesn't include some of the more advanced features, such as gasp animations and the traversal system. Next is BP Modern Horror Game Mode MetaHuman. If you'd like to use a MetaHuman character, simply select this one. Once selected, pressing play will use the MetaHuman character as the main playable character. And finally, if you're using a character based on the UE4 skeleton, select BP Modern Horror Game Mode UE4. This will make the UE4 character the default character for the framework. For now, let's switch back to the default UE5 setup. Before we replace any characters, let's take a quick look at the core folder. All of the character classes you've seen so far are children of BP character base. This is the main parent class for the framework's character system and contains the core character logic. If we open it and go to the visuals section, you'll notice that there are no character meshes or visual assets assigned here. However, if we look through the blueprint logic, you'll find systems such as input data, character behaviors, interaction, and many other core features. All of our character classes inherit from this class. So why did we choose this design? The main reason is flexibility. Even if you don't want to use any of the character controllers that come with the framework, you can simply create your own child class based on BP character base and build your own custom player controller setup. All of the core gameplay systems, input handling, character behaviors, and interaction logic already exist in the parent class. This allows you to customize your own character while still taking advantage of the framework's core functionality. You'll also notice another class called BP Character Base Advanced. This is essentially our modified version of the GASP character controller. We've customized it to better fit the survival horror gameplay style and the overall design of the framework. The BP Player Character and BP Player Character MetaHuman classes inherit from BP Character Base Advanced, while BP Character Base Advanced itself inherits from BP Character Base. This creates a clean inheritance hierarchy and makes it easier to extend or customize the framework for your own projects. Now that we've covered the character structure, let's move on and see how to replace the default character with your own. The process is actually very simple. We'll start with the UE5 character. I've added a few sample assets from my Epic Launcher library, so we can go through the process step by step. Here's the character model we'll be using. The first thing we need to do is find the framework's default UE5 skeleton. If we open the character mesh and check its skeleton asset, we can access the skeleton used by the framework. Using this skeleton has a major advantage. You won't need to recreate all of the sockets on your new character. The framework's skeleton already contains all of the required sockets and setup. So, let's copy the skeleton reference. Next, open your new character mesh and select Assign Skeleton. Choose the framework skeleton that we just copied. Make sure the currently selected skeleton and the target skeleton are compatible and properly matched. Once everything looks correct, click Accept and then Save All. Now we can go back to our UE5 character blueprint and replace the main mesh with our new mesh. As you can see, the new character is assigned successfully without any issues. Let's press play and test it. You can see that everything is working correctly. The character animations are playing as expected. All of the sockets are properly attached, and the framework systems continue to work without any additional setup. And that's how easy it is to replace the default UE5 character mesh with your own character. For the UE4 character setup, the process is basically the same and just as simple. This time, instead of opening the UE5 player character, we open the BP player character UE4. From here, we select the skeleton asset and copy its name. Again, we make sure everything matches correctly, then click Accept and Save All. After that, we go to the UE4 player character and replace the skeletal mesh with our new model. Now, if we press play, you can see that everything is set up correctly and the character is working without any issues. So that's it for the UE4 setup. Now let's move on to MetaHuman. So, how do we switch to the MetaHuman character? First, we select the BP Modern Horror Game Mode MetaHuman and hit play to make sure our MetaHuman is actually being used. As you can see, the default MetaHuman character is now active. Now we open the MetaHuman character blueprint. The only thing we really need to do is replace the skeleton, just like we did before. If you do this properly, you don't need to manually re-add all the framework sockets on your MetaHuman. Everything will already work with the framework setup. After adding your MetaHuman, Unreal might ask you to enable some plugins or restart the project. Just go ahead and do that if needed. Now we find the framework's default MetaHuman skeleton, copy its name, and we're done with it for now. Next, open your own MetaHuman asset. Select the body mesh, right-click, go to Skeleton, and choose Assign Skeleton. Paste the framework skeleton name here. Double-check that the currently selected skeleton and target skeleton are correct and compatible. Click Accept, then Save All. Now that the skeleton is assigned, we start replacing the components. First, we replace the body mesh with our MetaHuman body mesh. Then we repeat the same process for the other components step by step. Finally, we reach the face section. Before doing anything with the face, there's an important step we need to take. We remove all groom components under the face first, because, in some cases, Unreal Engine can have issues when groom assets are not compatible with a new facial setup, so it's safer to reset everything first. Once everything is cleared, we save the changes. Now we bring in the face mesh and assign it properly. Again, save your work after every major step so you don't lose anything. After that, we go back and re-add the groom components one by one. Once everything is set up, we do a final test. Press play. As you can see, the MetaHuman is now correctly integrated. Everything is working properly. Movement, interaction, and framework systems are all intact. Now there's one very important thing to understand. All of the pickup animations in this framework are currently set up for the UE5 skeleton. So if you're using the default UE5 character, everything works out of the box. If you're using MetaHuman or UE4, especially UE4, you will likely need to retarget these animations to match your character skeleton. For MetaHuman, it may still work fine, but for better accuracy, you can retarget animations to the MetaHuman skeleton. If we open something like the pistol data asset, for example, you'll see that animations like fire and reload are for UE5 skeleton. With UE4, however, retargeting is essential, because the skeleton structure is completely different. Without it, things like hand placement and aiming will look incorrect. For example, the pickup animation might have misaligned hands or incorrect head positioning, and shooting animations won't line up properly. And that's it for character replacement. I hope this helps you get everything set up correctly in your project. In the next part of the tutorial, we'll move beyond characters and start exploring the rest of the framework systems. See you in the next video.